Hello and welcome to part 3 of our website series called 25 Must-Haves for Website Design. I'm Klaude Furlong and I own a web development agency. So part 3 is going to be all about content development. So content is the most important aspect of any website. With the rise in the popularity of inbound marketing, content's become front and center to the minds of marketers like me. And it basically is part of what search engines and people are looking for. It's what drives traffic and visitors to your site and turns prospects into leads. So let's take a look at a few killer must-haves for content on your website. Messaging is extremely important. There are tools out there that you'll want to actually Google, and it's called headline tools. So it will help you. It's a tool basically, I think it's content.co, but I'm not sure. But just do a simple Google search under content headlines or best headline picker, and it will give you a whole bunch of tools. And some of these tools were created by putting an awful lot of headlines into a database and looking at the data on the click-through. So it will help you find and create headlines that are predetermined to give you a high click-through. So that's very important when you're designing a website, to actually look at those things because those are the things that Google will crawl. So there's 4 basic questions that you want to ask yourself regarding content on your website. Will people know what I do within seconds? So if they're looking at your website page or that particular page, is it jumping right at me what you do and what that page is about? If it's not, you got a problem. All your headers, all your headlines, and your what we call header 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and so on, they should be bold, they should be easily scannable, and it should tell me in seconds what you do. Will they understand what that page is about and what they're there for? Will they know what to do next? So do you have a call to action on that page? Every page should have a call to action. So whether it's click here for this, click that, click here for an ebook download, click here to learn more about this, you should have clickable hyperlinks throughout your page that brings the people to different elements of your website for the services that they're looking for. Again, make it easy for them to find information. And also you have to think of, so why should I click or download or subscribe here instead of your competition? What makes you so special? What are you going to give me that's going to save me time, money, effort, rather than going to your competition? So these questions are questions you have to ask yourself while you're developing that for your target audience. Because this is actually what your target audience is going to feel when they come to your website. And again, I would, as I'm building these pages, I would ask myself those questions and then do my copywriting in view of that. So like I said before, each page should have a keyword focus, and you need a certain density of that keyword to make sure that you are well crawled by Google and you come up in search engine. You want to make sure, like I said, that your headlines and headers have that keyword on that page, and you want to create a whole bunch of different headlines. Put them in that tool that I was talking to you about that will tell you which of those headlines have the best capability of turning into a click. And that's what I would use. You want to make sure, like I said before, that your that each page has a clear call to action and a clear next step process. So if at the end of your web page, you say, well, click here, you always want to put a banner at the top with an easy clickable call to action. You also want to put the call to action in between the text where it is appropriate, to make sure that if customers, they get to the first part and they already know they want to, it's right there and then. You want at the bottom of your page again to have a call to action and a next step in the process for them, because you are directing their journey as they go. So you want to make sure that you're constantly telling them who this service is for, what it's for, what you're going to get out of it, and how to move forward in the process. You want your content to educate and offer value. As we spoke about this before, earlier in the series, you want to educate your prospect on the problematics that they're looking to solve. So you can provide ebooks and white papers and videos and any other form of content that you can create that is educational for them. This will nurture the prospect through your marketing and sales funnel until they're ready to buy. It could be, it could also be a series like I'm doing right now for your prospect. You could develop a series of 4 or 5 videos that teach them or talk to them about the problematic that they're looking to solve. And in that point of view, you can actually import your services that you do or your offerings into those suggestions as the training goes on. But by making it, you can deliver that by email, you can deliver that through your VideoTube channel, you can deliver that through distribution of social media. So there's many ways that you can get them help in solving their issues. And avoid by all means the, we're the best, don't look anywhere else, stop looking, we're here, self-promoting spiel. Don't do that. It doesn't work anymore. People have lots and lots and lots of options out there. They can make up their own mind. So my best bet to you is to offer them value and educational content that talks for you. Let the content talk or speak for you and your business and the quality that you offer by the detail that you actually put into this. You want to make sure of the importance of quality in your content. And when I say that, it means a bunch of different things here. You want to make sure that you're offering unique content, not rehashed over and over recycled content. You want to write for human beings, not robots, not chatbots. You want to write things out like as if you're speaking to them in a perhaps a consulting meeting or something like that. You want to do your research when you're paying for the content that you want to develop. You want to make sure that you're using, you've done your keyword research for that type of content, that you'll be writing in a certain way, and you want to make sure that you're keeping your content fresh. So sometimes I see blogs, I do an audit of a client, and I'll go to their website and I'll see that the last blog they had was June 2016. It gives me the impression that, first of all, they created their website, they threw a whole bunch of different things there, and they haven't updated since. It shows me that they're not conscientious about their business profile online. It gives me the feeling that they are overwhelmed probably by the amount of work that they have, and they don't have somebody that's really dedicated to that. And again, it's an attention to detail. So there's 2 ways of actually dealing with that: is removing any dates from your blog posts so that they are not dated. So at least people can see that, oh well, it's not dated. And I'm culprit here because I have to update mine as well. So again, don't do what I do. Do what needs to be done. And also, you want to try and write one blog per week if you can. Again, it's a great way to drive traffic. It's a great way to share good content. It doesn't have to be very long. Although the longer it is, the better it does with Google, because Google has a way of giving preferences to good content on blogs. So it's come to a point where most companies have to have a blog almost to drive traffic organically to their business website. So it's important to do that. You want to know your audience, so make sure that you've done your homework when it comes to that. Make sure that you've done your customer research, that you've created customer personas, and that you are actually writing for that persona when you're writing. And you've done your keyword research and so on and so forth. Now, you also want to be clear. So you want to use clear and simple language when you're writing. Unless, your target audience are scientifics, or they're, lab rats and scientists and, highly educated university degreed kind of people. But the rest of us, simple people, like to be spoken to in lame terms. I don't want or need to have a dictionary next to me while I'm reading your webpage. I will get tired of that real quick and move on. So don't try to be smarter or try to come across as I know everything and so on. Just, again, clear, concise, easy to understand words that you would use when you are speaking to me as a customer and you're doing a consulting session with me. That will go way further, because you have to understand that the way that this is, the web page will be crawled by Google for search words and search terms and keywords that the searcher has inputted into the search engine search bar. So if I'm looking for, like we were saying a while ago, dog grooming, I'm not going to put I'm not going to use, a super highly complicated word. I'm just going to put dog grooming in my area or near me, dog grooming near me, right? So again, think of those things when you're writing your web pages, because that's what you're doing all this for, is that when that search term pops into that search engine, you come up as the most probable, best experience for that searcher. So you have all the information on dog grooming. You're near them, you're local to them. You've got web pages that are about dog grooming, that speak to all those different things. So write in that sense. You're not writing to impress people at how good of a writer you are. You're there to impress them at how quickly you can get them the information that they need. That's what you need to think about. Okay? Be clear, not clever. Again, you have to make your you have to make sure that your content is searchable, shareable, and social and searchable. So you want to make sure that when you're writing content on your page, whether it's a blog or a web page, that you have added sharing widgets. So most every themed, or if I deal with WordPress most of all, because it's a standard in our industry, so I tend to gravitate towards WordPress themes and WordPress platforms. You want to make sure that you add these shareable plugins that are super easy to add and that make every piece of your content shareable. So if I'm on the page and I read something that I want to share with someone, I can easily click the share button and all of a sudden I'm sharing with either I'm sharing it on social networks or I'm sharing it by email, or so that's extremely important that you want to do that. And you want to make sure that you have these plugins in regards to, like in the middle of your blog, to make it easy for somebody to download an ebook that you have, or to share this content or tweet about it, or there's these little tag cards that you can actually add to your blog easily. In the middle of it, it looks like a nice little picture and it's easy to click. And when you click it, it already has a tweet in it already that you've added previously to this, and it helps people share your content really fast, really quickly, and it looks beautiful all the time. You're controlling the output of that information as well. And you want to make sure that you have multiple forms of content. So you want to have lots of beautiful pictures and imagery. You want to have videos. You want to have audios. You want to have different maybe quizzes or utility tools that are good to put on your website. Try to think of all kinds of different contents that you can add, infographics, or you want to create maybe a slide share that can be shared offline as well as on your webpage. Make it interesting for your user and your visitor to actually scan through your website with these different types of videos. It will help keep them interested and engaged in your website, and that's something that you want to do. So if you're a big business, have a corporate video, or have some product reviews of your product, have customer testimonials about your products, have customer testimonials about how great it is to do business with you. It is really important, and it takes me to the next step, which is customer proof. No matter what anyone says, customer reviews and testimonials are still number one for conversion, because everybody loves to be referred to someone, to a company that they need a service from, by a colleague or by a sheer amount of reviews. So your company has 150 reviews that are 4 stars and up about how great you are. That in itself is a sales force right there, because you really don't need to say anything. It's convincing enough for me. So make sure that you take advantage of posting testimonials to your website. Have a full page of testimonials and make them different. Have written testimonials, have little pictures, have product reviews, have video customer testimonials. Have it like full page where people can actually go on there. Make sure that you take advantage of your Google My Business and the reviews that are on there, because that's extremely important. Because if I do a search on grooming and I get 10 companies that come up, and then 3 companies that have a lot of Google reviews, those 3 are going to take preference on the search engine ranking. And those are the 3 I'm going to look at, because they have reviews, and they have positive reviews. So I don't need to waste my time going through 13 other pages of dog groomers. It's right there. So take advantage of that. Do a mass email after maybe once a month to your client base and ask them to review your company on Google. Give them an easy link to get to it. Show them what other people have written, and give them a 10% discount coupon, or give them an incentive of some sort to give you those Google reviews. So that takes us to the end of part 3 of this series, and come back for the final part, part 4, which is basically centered and focused on conversion. So see you soon.